Have you ever wondered where God was when Lucifer, the brightest angel, rebelled in heaven? What happened behind the scenes of that epic conflict that changed the fate of the universe forever? Today, I'm going to share with you 7 never-before-revealed pieces of information about this celestial event. Get ready, because what you're about to discover could change your view of good and evil. Let's dive into the depths of heaven and explore the mystery of Lucifer's rebellion. Imagine a time before the creation of the world, when the heavens were inhabited by powerful and glorious beings. Lucifer, the bearer of light, was the most beautiful and wise of all the angels. But something dark began to grow in his heart. Lucifer wanted to be equal to God, and his ambition triggered a series of events that culminated in a celestial war. But where was God during all this? Was he simply watching, or was there a greater purpose at play? Some believe that God, in his infinite wisdom, allowed the rebellion to take place in order to test the angels' loyalty and reveal Lucifer's true character. Others say that he was giving the opportunity for free will to manifest itself fully, both in heaven and on earth. But the truth is that this rebellion didn't take God by surprise. He already knew about Lucifer's plan and had a greater purpose behind it. A purpose that involved the greater good and the salvation of humanity. Lucifer's rebellion was a profound test of the angels' loyalty. God, in his infinite wisdom, already knew Lucifer's intentions. He knew that the most brilliant and glorious angel was becoming filled with pride and ambition. But God wanted to see how the other angels would react to this challenge. Which angels would remain faithful to him, and which would be seduced down the path of rebellion. The heavenly world was an environment of pure harmony and beauty, where the angels sang praises and glorified God. Suddenly, the seed of discord appeared. Lucifer, with his brilliance and charisma, began to question the divine order, planting doubts and inciting rebellion. The angels, perplexed, find themselves at a crossroads. Follow Lucifer's melodious voice or remain loyal to the Creator. God allowed this situation to unfold as a true test of loyalty. It wasn't just about blind obedience, but a conscious choice based on faith and understanding. Each angel was faced with a crucial decision: to support Lucifer and his promises of power and autonomy, or to trust in God's wisdom and love. Some angels, fascinated by Lucifer's brilliance and seduced by his words, began to lean towards the side of rebellion. They saw in Lucifer a figure of leadership, someone who promised freedom and glory. Others, however, began to perceive the arrogance and pride that emanated from Lucifer. They understood that his path would lead to destruction and chaos. The faithful angels faced a profound emotional dilemma. Seeing friends and companions being dragged into the rebellion was painful. However, their faith and loyalty to God strengthened them. They knew that true freedom and glory lay in following divine designs, and not in following an angel fallen through pride. God, in his wisdom, was watching. He allowed each angel to show their true character and their free choices. This test of loyalty was not only to identify who was faithful, but also to reveal the heart of each heavenly being. It was a lesson in the importance of fidelity and integrity. The angels who remained faithful were those who understood the essence of divine love and justice. They saw beyond Lucifer's empty promises and chose to remain by God's side, even when rebellion seemed tempting. Their loyalty was not just a matter of duty, but of deep understanding and love for the Creator. These faithful angels were rewarded with renewed strength and unshakable faith. God prepared them for the battle to come, a battle that was not only physical, but spiritual. They were ready to defend truth and justice, strengthened by their loyalty and trust in God. And now, it's up to us to reflect on this heavenly story. The test of the angels' loyalty teaches us about the importance of remaining faithful in times of trial. God gives us the freedom to choose, but He also watches and guides us, hoping that we will understand the value of true loyalty and love. The testing of the loyalty of Lucifer and his followers reminds us that, even in the midst of the greatest temptations and challenges, faithfulness to God is the path to true glory and peace. May we learn from this story and always seek to be faithful to our Creator, guided by His love and wisdom. God already had a plan of redemption in mind. Lucifer's rebellion, as chaotic and disturbing as it was not an event beyond God's control. On the contrary, it was part of a greater purpose, an elaborate plan that included the coming of Jesus Christ to save humanity. Let's explore this divine preparation and understand how everything fits into a grand heavenly scheme. Imagine a plan so grand that it encompasses the entire universe, from creation to final redemption. God, in His infinite wisdom, knew that Lucifer's rebellion would be a crucial moment. But instead of reacting with surprise or despair, He was preparing a way for salvation. Every event, every decision, was part of this master plan. God allowed the rebellion to occur because he had a greater purpose. He wanted to show the universe the seriousness of sin and the need for redemption. The fall of Lucifer and his angels was a catalyst for the revelation of God's character of love and justice. God not only observed the rebellion, but began to prepare the way for the coming of his Son, Jesus Christ. From the beginning, God knew that humanity would need a Savior. He knew that sin would enter the world and that only a perfect sacrifice could redeem creation. Lucifer's rebellion was a step in this great plan of redemption. God was setting the stage for the arrival of Jesus, who would bring the message of love, forgiveness, and salvation. The angels, although confused by the rebellion, were also part of this plan. God was preparing them, instructing them about the role they would play in salvation history. Each angel had a specific mission, whether to protect, announce, or serve. They were witnesses to God's plan in action and were ready to carry out his orders. God was building a plan that involved not just heaven, but all of creation. He was preparing hearts, shaping destinies, and orchestrating events so that, at the right time, Jesus could come into the world. Lucifer's rebellion, far from being a mere accident, was an essential component in this divine plan of redemption. The preparation of a greater plan reveals God's profound love and patience. He didn't react impulsively to Lucifer's rebellion, but used this opportunity to teach and prepare the universe for the coming of Christ. God was showing that, even in the moments of greatest darkness, his light and love prevail. When Jesus finally came to earth, he brought with him the culmination of this plan. His life, death, and resurrection were the definitive answer to the problem of sin and rebellion. Everything that happened in heaven, the preparation and the waiting, culminated in the message of salvation for all humanity. And now, as we reflect on this story, we realize that Lucifer's rebellion and God's preparation for the coming of Jesus are intrinsically linked. God was always in control, working for the greater good. He used the rebellion to reveal his justice, mercy, and unconditional love. God was preparing a greater plan, a plan that involved the redemption and salvation of us all. May we understand the depth of this love and be grateful for the sacrifice of Jesus, who came to rescue us and bring us back to the Father's love. During Lucifer's rebellion, while chaos and disorder began to spread throughout the heavens, God did not leave the faithful angels helpless. He communicated with them deeply and constantly, strengthening their faith and courage to face Lucifer and his followers. Let's understand how this divine communication was essential in preparing for the heavenly battle that was to come. Heaven, which had always been a place of harmony and worship, was now filled with tension and uncertainty. Angels confused, others tempted by Lucifer's rebellion, and those who remained faithful to God, all faced a moment of crisis. It was in this context that God began to communicate in a special way with the faithful angels, guiding them and preparing them for the challenges that lay ahead. God, in his infinite wisdom, knew that the faith of the faithful angels needed to be strengthened. He not only watched, but also spoke directly to the hearts of these angels, reminding them of his love, his justice, and the importance of standing firm. Each divine message was a balm for their souls, renewing their strength and courage. These communications were not only words of comfort, but also clear instructions on how they should act. God was preparing each angel for the coming heavenly battle, instructing them in their specific missions and roles. He equipped them with the wisdom to discern Lucifer's deception and the spiritual strength to resist temptation. When the faithful angels received these divine messages, they felt renewed. Their faith was strengthened and their courage increased with every word from God. They were ready to face Lucifer and his followers, knowing that they were not alone. God was with them, guiding and protecting them. God also used these moments of communication to teach deep lessons about the nature of love and loyalty. He showed the faithful angels that true strength came from unshakable faith and a pure heart. Each message was a reminder that, despite difficulties, light and truth would always prevail. Some of these divine communications were powerful visions, showing the faithful angels the glorious future that awaited those who remained loyal to God. They saw the final victory over evil, the restoration of heavenly harmony, and the glorification of those who persevered. These visions filled their hearts with hope and determination. During these moments, the union between the faithful angels grew stronger. They prayed together, shared their experiences, and encouraged each other. God's communication not only strengthened them individually, but also united them as a heavenly army ready for battle. They knew that together, guided by the divine hand, they could overcome any challenge. And now, as we reflect on this story, we realize the importance of seeking divine communication in our own lives. Just as God strengthened the faithful angels, He also wants to strengthen our faith and courage. We must be open to hearing His words and allow them to guide us and prepare us for the challenges we face. God was preparing the faithful angels for a crucial battle, but his presence and constant communication showed that they were never alone. May we learn from this story and always seek divine guidance, knowing that God is with us, guiding and strengthening us every step of the way. The heavenly rebellion was not just a battle for power, but a profound and surprising revelation of Lucifer's true character. The angel who was once seen as the brightest and most glorious was revealed to be a being whose insatiable desire for power and glory made him an unworthy and dangerous leader. In the beginning, Lucifer was admired and respected for his beauty, intelligence, and high position. He was the anointed cherub, the one who shone with the light of divine glory. But as the rebellion unfolded, the angels began to see a side of Lucifer they had never imagined. The mask fell, and his true nature was exposed. Lucifer was not interested in the well-being of the other angels or in heavenly harmony. His desire for power and personal glory blinded him, leading him to manipulate and deceive many of his companions. He promised freedom and a new kind of government, but his real intention was to establish a kingdom of tyranny where he would be the supreme ruler. The rebellion revealed how much Lucifer was willing to sacrifice to achieve his goals. His disobedience to God and attempt to usurp the heavenly throne showed an unimaginable level of pride and arrogance. The faithful angels, upon seeing this transformation, felt a mixture of shock, sadness, and a renewed determination to defend divine justice. The angels began to realize that Lucifer's promises were empty and misleading. He spoke of a new beginning, but in reality, he was creating a path to destruction and chaos. The rebellion was a catalyst that revealed Lucifer's true essence, a being consumed by selfishness and a thirst for power. God allowed this revelation to take place so that all the angels could see for themselves the difference between divine love and corrupt ambition. He wanted the angels to understand the seriousness of disobedience and the danger of following a leader who didn't value harmony and justice. Lucifer's true nature became evident to all, and this further strengthened the faith of the faithful angels. This revelation also taught an important lesson about true leadership. Lucifer, with his selfish quest for power, showed what happens when a leader puts his own interests above the common good. God, on the other hand, showed that true leadership is based on love, justice, and humility. The angels learned that following God meant choosing light over darkness, truth over lies. With this new understanding, the faithful angels felt strengthened. They knew they were on the right side, the side of truth and justice. The revelation of Lucifer's true character united them even more, making them a heavenly army ready to defend divine principles. Each angel who remained faithful now had a renewed clarity about the importance of their loyalty to God. And now, as we reflect on this story, we realize that the revelation of Lucifer's true character is an eternal lesson in the importance of knowing the true nature of those we follow. It teaches us to value integrity, humility, and justice in our leaders and in ourselves. God allowed this truth to be exposed so that everyone could see the beauty of faithfulness and obedience to Him. The revelation of Lucifer's true character was a pivotal moment in heavenly history, a moment that forever defined the difference between light and darkness. May we learn from this story and always seek the truth, guided by divine love and justice. God, in His infinite wisdom and love, has always valued free will. He created the angels with the ability to make their own choices, believing that true loyalty and love can only exist where there is freedom of choice. During Lucifer's rebellion, God allowed the angels to choose their own path, be it one of loyalty or rebellion. Imagine being an angel in heaven, living in an environment of perfect harmony and worship. Suddenly, a crisis arises that forces each one to make a fundamental choice. God, who could have prevented the rebellion with His power, chose to allow events to unfold so that the true nature of free will would be revealed. Free will meant that each angel had the freedom to follow God or rebel with Lucifer. This choice was not easy. The angels were confronted with seductive promises of freedom and power by Lucifer, but also with the reminder of God's love and justice. It was a moment of deep introspection and decision for each celestial being. For many angels, the choice to remain faithful to God was an act of courage and conviction. They knew that, despite the difficulties they might face, true freedom lay in following the path of justice and divine love. These angels felt in their hearts the importance of defending God's eternal principles, even in the face of Lucifer's temptation and deception. Other angels, seduced by Lucifer's promises, chose to follow the path of rebellion. They believed the false promises of power and autonomy, without realizing the abyss of destruction and chaos that these choices would bring. For these angels, free will meant a tragic freedom, which led them away from God's light and love. By allowing this choice, God showed how much He valued the freedom of His created beings. He knew that true love and genuine loyalty cannot be forced. They must be offered freely, even if that means allowing for the possibility of rebellion. God's decision underlines the depth of his love and respect for the autonomy of each celestial being. The faithful angels, in making their choices, felt an even deeper connection with God. They understood that their loyalty was a conscious choice, an act of love and faith. This understanding brought a new dimension to their worship and service of God. They were not just servants, but beings who freely chose to follow divine truth and justice. For the angels who chose faithfulness, this decision was a turning point. They became stronger, more united and more determined to defend divine principles. Free will allowed their faith to be tested and strengthened, transforming them into spiritual warriors ready to face any challenge. And now, as we reflect on this story, we realize the importance of free will in our own lives. Just like the angels, we are called to make choices that reflect our faith and values. God offers us the freedom to choose, believing that true worship and loyalty come from a free and determined heart. The choice of free will is a testimony to God's deep love for his creatures. He wants us to be free to choose the good, to love and follow the truth wholeheartedly. May we learn from this story and value the freedom that God has given us, using it to honor and glorify his name. Behind the scenes in heaven, even before Lucifer's rebellion manifested itself openly, God was preparing the universe for an event of cosmic proportions. He knew that the expulsion of Lucifer and his followers from heaven was a necessary measure to maintain heavenly order and justice. In the heavenly realm, where harmony and perfection reign, the angels worship and serve God in a state of indescribable peace and joy. However, behind the scenes of this tranquility, God knew that a storm was brewing. He saw the subtle signs of rebellion brewing in the heart of Lucifer, the cherub of radiant light. God, in his infinite wisdom, began to prepare the universe for the inevitable confrontation with evil. He knew that the fall of Lucifer and his followers was crucial not only to maintain order in the heavens, but also to teach an eternal lesson about the nature of rebellion and divine justice. This preparation involved not only practical measures, but also a spiritual and moral preparation for all the angels. God strengthened the faithful angels, preparing them to resist Lucifer's temptations and deceptions. He instructed the archangels and seraphim to lead with wisdom and discernment, ensuring that each angel understood the seriousness of disobedience and the importance of loyalty. This preparation was not only physical, but spiritual, shaping the hearts of the angels to stand firm in truth and love. For the angels, the preparation for Lucifer's fall was a time of testing and spiritual growth. They learned to value divine justice and order even more, understanding that God's love demanded not only worship, but also obedience. Each faithful angel became a guardian of heavenly truth, ready to defend divine principles against any challenge that arose. By preparing the universe for Lucifer's fall, God demonstrated his commitment to justice and order throughout creation. He not only anticipated the conflict, but also used this moment to teach a profound lesson about the consequences of rebellion and the need to choose faithfulness over self-gratification. God's every action reflected his unwavering love for truth and righteousness. The preparation for Lucifer's fall was not just a cosmic event, but a demonstration of God's care and providence for his creation. He was prepared to confront evil, not by brute force, but by divine wisdom and justice. This preparation not only preserved order in the heavens, but also set an eternal example of how justice and love can triumph over rebellion and darkness. By understanding this preparation, we are reminded of the importance of trusting in God's wisdom and plan for our lives. May we learn from the heavenly preparation and always choose the path of truth and faithfulness, following the example of the faithful angels who stood firm in the divine light. During Lucifer's rebellion, many wonder what God's attitude was towards this betrayal. God was watching in silence. That's right, he chose not to intervene immediately. Why? Let's understand the details and the reasons behind this divine decision. Imagine the heavens, normally a place of harmony and glory, were now in turmoil. Lucifer, the brightest and most beautiful angel, was beginning to sow doubt and discontent among the other angels. He, who had once been the bearer of light, now carried with him the seeds of rebellion. But God, with his infinite wisdom, chose to watch. Why didn't God intervene immediately? This silence did not mean inaction, but a divine strategy. God knew that early intervention could obscure Lucifer's true nature and the real impact of his actions. By allowing events to unfold, he was actually providing a lesson to all heavenly beings. Allowing the angels to see the consequences of Lucifer's disobedience and pride was essential for them to understand the gravity of what was happening. God was teaching, showing that free will comes with responsibilities and that choices have profound consequences. The angels, perplexed, watched Lucifer defy divine authority. Some were tempted to follow him, seduced by his promises of power and freedom. Others, however, began to see Lucifer's true character, revealed through his actions and words. They realized that his pride and ambition were not the attributes of a worthy leader, but of someone who sought disorder and destruction. In this chaotic scenario, God was present, not with a punishing hand, but with a penetrating and serene gaze. He knew that this moment was crucial for the angels' spiritual maturity. They needed to understand for themselves the dangers of pride and rebellion, so that their loyalties would be true and firm. And so the rebellion unfolded. Lucifer gathered his followers, while other angels remained faithful to God, understanding the truth behind Lucifer's words. God's decision to observe without immediately intervening proved wise, as it allowed the angels to see, feel and understand the real consequences of Lucifer's actions. God's choice to observe in silence teaches us something profound about the nature of free will and true loyalty. It's not just about blindly obeying, but about understanding and choosing the path of truth and justice. God doesn't want forced servants, but sons and daughters who freely choose Him, understanding His love and justice. All this time, God was also communicating with the faithful angels, strengthening them in their faith and courage. He was preparing them for the battle to come, a battle not just physical, but spiritual, where true loyalty and love would be put to the test. And now, it's up to us to reflect on this story. God, in His infinite wisdom, knew that sometimes the best way to teach is to allow us to see the consequences of our actions. His silence was not absence, but a silent presence, teaching through observation and experience. Where was God during Lucifer's rebellion? He was watching in silence, with a greater purpose, teaching eternal lessons about pride, loyalty, and free will. May we learn from this story and always seek truth and justice, guided by divine love and wisdom. As we explore the background to Lucifer's rebellion and the divine response, we are led to reflect not only on the heavenly events, but on our own choices and the meaning of free will. God, in His infinite wisdom, allowed this crucial episode in heaven to take place not just as a judgment, but as a demonstration of His love and justice. He teaches us that true freedom lies in choosing the path of fidelity and love, even in the face of temptations and challenges. Just as the angels had to decide between following the divine light or giving in to Lucifer's deceptive promises, we also face daily choices that shape our spiritual destiny. May we learn from heavenly history and strengthen our faith, always choosing what is just and true. May the story of Lucifer's rebellion inspire us to be guardians of truth and justice in our own lives, following the example of the faithful angels who stood firm in the divine light. May we find strength in God's wisdom and love, facing challenges with courage and faith. During Lucifer's rebellion, many wonder what God's stance was in the face of this betrayal. God was watching in silence. That's right, He chose not to intervene immediately. Why? Let's understand the details and the reasons behind this divine decision. And so we come to the end of this fascinating journey through the mysteries of Lucifer's rebellion and the divine response. I hope you have been touched and inspired by these profound revelations. If you enjoyed the video and want to continue exploring intriguing spiritual and historical themes like this one, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content we're preparing for you. Leave a like if this video has brought you new perspectives. Also share your opinions and questions in the comments below. We look forward to continuing this conversation with you. And don't leave just yet. We have more interesting videos waiting for you. Explore the content that appears here at the top of the screen to continue your journey of learning and discovery. Thank you very much for watching to the end. Your participation and support are fundamental to the growth of our channel. Until the next video, where we will continue to explore the mysteries and wonders of knowledge together. May the divine light always guide your steps.